I rewatched the Drake and Josh's #1 fan episode recently and couldn't help but notice that it has not exactly aged well. The episode's plot involves Drake meeting his biggest fan, a little girl played by Alyson Stoner, who becomes more and more obsessed with him as the episode goes on. And while her crush on Drake seems harmless at first, she eventually convinces herself that they are in a relationship despite the obvious, inappropriate age gap. And I can't lie, watching this one modern day is kind of uncomfortable. In fact, the more the little child falls in love with Drake, the more uncomfortable I get watching it. Because, for those of you who don't know, years after this episode aired, Drake Bell actually got into some trouble over a situation involving himself and a huge fan, who, yeah, you guessed it, just happened to be underage.
How do you plead to count 1?
Guilty.
How do you plead to count 2? Disseminating matter harmful to juveniles, first-degree misdemeanor.
Guilty.
Let the record reflect defendant has pled guilty.
Basically, Drake Bell communicated through text messages and DMs with a fan he met online, and that fan turned out to be a 15-year-old girl. Yikes.
I was definitely one of his biggest fans. He was a hero to me. I idolized and looked up to him. He was such a huge part of my childhood, and in return, he ruined my life.
After finding out she was below the age of 18, Drake cut off all communication with her. This made the young fan extremely upset. Then, finding out about Drake's fiance was the final straw.
There were no claims at all of any sort of inappropriate conduct until the victim in this case learned of Mr. Bell's fiance, now wife. And at that point, that's when everything kind of turn her world upside down.
It was then that she pursued legal charges against Drake. And I will say, there's a lot of misinformation and misconceptions regarding this case. Although it showed extremely poor judgment on Drake's part to DM a fan without verifying her age, he was not found guilty of any kind of sexual misconduct, like many people assume. He did, however, plead guilty to attempted child endangerment and disseminating matter harmful to juveniles.
You calling me a
child endangerer?
I ain't calling you a
Child ensaferer.
And if you want to hear in his own words why he pled guilty, I'll link a video in the description where he talks about it. But either way, the whole concept of an underage fan obsessing over Drake makes for a pretty uncomfortable episode given all the real life events that happened. So, maybe it's for the best that this one is in the group of banned episodes. And no, it's not banned for its content. The reason it's currently banned on streaming platforms is due to copyright issues with music that appears in the episode, specifically the Drake Bell song Down We Fall, which plays in the ending scene. So unless you have a rare copy of the Drake and Josh Best of Seasons 1 and 2 DVD, you're basically out of luck. But even though this one's not the easiest to rewatch, don't worry guys, I found a way. So today, we're gonna take a look back at #1 fan to see if Drake Parker can handle the situation better than Drake Bell would go on to do.
Guilty.
As always, if you guys like this one, please throw us a fat juicy like and maybe even subscribe. I might just use a Capri Sun as a bidet if you do. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at AgroWasHere for a daily dose of nostalgia. And if you have any other episodes or shows you want me to cover, let me know in the comments. All right, let's dive in. So the episode starts off with Josh filling a giant pitcher full of milk. Absolutely heinous. I can't explain why, but that just seems like the most disgusting way to serve milk. Ugh, God, I want to throw up. He then grabs a tray of s'mores with his bare hands out of the burning hot oven.
Hello, s'mores. Hello, pain.
Has he never used an oven before? What? The milk? After that disgusting act, Drake tries to eat one of the s'mores and he burns his mouth. And the shot of him burning his mouth is actually in the theme song for season 3. But honestly, I'm just thanking God that Drake didn't reach for the hand milk for some relief from the burning. Shouldn't Drake have been able to tell the s'mores were burning hot when he picked it up with his bare hands? Right? Walter screams from the other room because Megan and her little campfire squad friends tied him to a chair. Who knows what they were gonna do next? So Josh heads out there, ready to serve up both his arm milk and the s'mores that Drake just chomped to the little kids. Nice. Great.
Everyone gets one, and then we'll hold a raffle.
Walter's fucking had it with these feral kids, so he resigns and tells Josh that he's the new chief, regardless of if he wants to do it or not.
But I don't want to be the new chief. Yes, Daddy.
Then, we see a young Alyson Stoner talking to Megan, asking where Drake is, because she thinks he's the cutest boy ever.
Why are you always asking about Drake? He's only the cutest boy ever. Don't you think Drake's adorable?
That's her brother. It would be kinda weird if she found him attractive, right? What kind of question is that? Josh announces to the kids that he's their new chief, and then something wild happens.
You're our new chief? Seriously?
That's right.
I'm out.
Where did she go? She's a little kid. She can't drive. Is she walking home? And Josh just lets her leave? He doesn't give a fuck? Imagine her parents call to ask where she is. Oh, she left. Yeah, your 9-year-old? She left. She's gone. Insane. Drake announces to Josh that he gets to play live on the radio this Friday night, and then one of the kids finds a Band-Aid in its milk. Disgusting. Unacceptable. A biohazard? Perhaps. Josh was dead wrong for serving blood milk to those children. Megan's little friend wanders upstairs and startles Drake while he's playing his guitar. Pause. I hate to be crude, but it's not right to go poking around in people's bedrooms. What if Drake was wanking the worm? Come on now. We learn her name is Wendy, and she tells Drake that she loves his music and asks for his autograph.
Want to hear a secret?
Okay.
My dream is for you to play a song just for me.
He gives her his guitar pick for being his #1 fan.
You're giving me this?
Yeah, for my #1 fan.
Ooh, yeah. I love a good episode title drop. Hell yeah.
#1 fan.
Cut to the premiere, and oh my god. Schneider's Pizza is the business that's right next door to the goddamn premiere. Get over yourself, Dan. I'm done with it. I would hate to see what kind of slices they're You know what? All that stuff just came out about Epstein Island and the pizzas. Maybe Dan was involved, eh? And if you look at the names of the movies on the premiere, one of them says Kid President, which is a reference to the Little Diva episode, which is also, it's banned as well. But either way, yeah, that's the movie the little girl is in. That's the movie The Little Diva stars in. Yep. Cool, right?
So what movie are we seeing?
We're not seeing a movie. We're here to learn about wilderness navigation.
Then why are they at a movie theater, Josh? That would be like taking them all to the ice cream parlor, then saying, oh, we're not here to eat ice cream. We're here to do math equations. What the fuck? They could have done that anywhere. In the woods, at home, on the internet. I'm pissed. And when he can't get the kids to focus on the wilderness bullshit, he gives up and says, okay, fuck it. We're seeing a movie. And I sure hope there's some kind of employee discount for Josh, because 9 kids movie tickets plus himself would be very expensive. Wendy sees Drake on a date with a random broad, and she's fucking pissed. Also, this shot of Drake kissing the girl is in the season 3 intro. Wendy decides to go over there, and she proceeds to roast the absolute living shit out of Drake's date.
That's a lot of food.
Excuse me?
Is that all for you?
Wendy?
I think it's nice that Larissa doesn't worry about her figure.
Josh is responsible for this young child. Did he not even notice that she wandered off? He's not a very good chief, that's for sure. Back at home, Drake complains to Josh that Wendy is becoming way too obsessed with him, and he even calls her to play her voicemail greeting as an example.
Hi, this is Wendy. Drake's not here right now, but if he were, that would be so awesome. I love you, Drake. Please leave a message.
How did Drake know her phone number? Not only that, how did he know he would get her voicemail? What if she picked up and started hassling him? Whatever. Josh insists that it's just a harmless crush and says he felt the same way about Oprah at that age. And Drake seems surprised to hear him mention Oprah.
When I was her age, I had a crush on Oprah. Oprah? She's an inspiration.
So I'm thinking this is the first mention of Josh's Oprah obsession in the show.
I hope you go bald. I hope they cancel Oprah. Take that back.
Which is, to me, such an iconic part of the show. So honestly, this is basically like watching the Mona Lisa be painted. Their talking is interrupted by a knocking sound at the window. The second story window, mind you. And it is, of course, Wendy.
Well, what are you doing here?
I brought you some pickles. Oh, and will you marry me? They're vertically sliced for sandwiches.
No, they're not. We can see them right there. Those pickles are not vertically sliced. In fact, they aren't sliced at all. They're full-ass pickles. Also, Alyson Stoner is a really funny kid. She was great in the Cheaper by the Dozen movies around the same time, too. It's a shame what they did to her in the Camp Rock movies later.
she's really good.
Ouch. Cut to the next day where Josh is trying to figure out a snack container that's bear-proof, and Drake is still upset about Wendy.
I'm just gonna have to tell her to leave me alone. I'm gonna go to her house right now. Be back in an hour.
Hi, Drake, I'm coming in.
Why was Drake gonna go to her house to talk to her? He knows her phone number. We just saw him call her phone in the last scene. Wendy shows up wearing a custom-made Drake t-shirt with a picture she took of him while he's sleeping on it.
I like watching you sleep. It's kind of fascinating to me.
And she tells Josh that she made him a custom one as well.
I made a Drake t-shirt special for you.
Is this for me or a sport utility vehicle?
It's pretty funny, but at the same time, I can't help but feel bad hearing fat jokes directed at an underage Josh. He was only a kid, and it clearly gave him some kind of complex that I low-key think he still has to this day. Also, Dan Schneider was the writer of this episode, so he should probably look in the mirror before writing fat jokes directed at someone else. So Drake tells Wendy that he needs some space, but he's real gentle about it, telling her that she didn't do anything wrong. Incorrect. She took pictures of you while you were sleeping, Drake. Boundaries were crossed. Breaking and entering has occurred. A crime has been committed. File a restraining order now. But he doesn't do that. Wendy tells him she completely understands. So Drake is hopeful the issue has been resolved. Cut to Drake and Josh at school, and their entire classroom has been covered in flyers with Drake's sleeping face on them, telling everyone to tune in Friday night to Drake's live radio performance. She definitely broke into their school to put those flyers up, right? Some of them are in places she couldn't have even easily reached. When the teacher unrolls the map, it's a huge picture of sleeping Drake. And honestly, why are the classmates so pissed? It's funny as hell. They should be laughing. Did they actually want to learn from that map today? Is it that important? Cut back to the living room, and Josh still isn't giving up trying to teach these kids about nature and shit, even though they've made it clear time and time again they aren't the least bit interested. Wendy tells the others that Drake is her boyfriend now, and they're gonna get married someday. Pretty odd conclusion to draw from the conversation she just had with him, but whatever. Suddenly, Drake bursts through the door very pissed off, and he is somehow perfectly dry after coming in from the storm, even though we could see heavy rain and thunder and lightning.
I'm disappointed in you for not braving the outdoors during a gentle rain shower.
He doesn't even have a goddamn umbrella with him.
Don't talk, just listen.
Baby, what's wrong?
I'm not gonna sing a song for you, and I'm not your boyfriend. I'm not even your friend.
So just leave me alone.
And as if that wasn't harsh enough, then another kid in the group decides to roast the hell out of her.
So, when's the wedding?
But seriously, even though it was a little harsh, Drake would have done himself a big favor in real life if he had been able to draw firm boundaries the way his character did here in this scene. Just saying. Josh goes back to yapping about camping, and the kids tell him again they don't give a damn. And that little girl with the blonde hair is from Bridge to Terabithia, if anyone cares. She's the one who croaks. Megan pretends like she wants to learn about the tent so Josh will climb inside. Then she promptly locks him in. Problem solved. Oh yeah, and by the way, the wiki for this episode claims that it's the same tent used in the Zoe 101 episode, Back to PCA. It's not. Clearly, that's a different tent. Debunked. I've said it before, but you really can't trust the wiki facts for these shows. So watch out for the creators who just read off them. Not like me, brother. With Josh locked away in captivity, the kids start ordering pizzas and playing video games. But the only one not celebrating is Wendy, because she's too sad about Drake yelling at her. Megan tries to be nice and cheer her up, which I appreciate, honestly. I love Megan, and I like them giving some depth to her character.
Drake was just upset. He didn't mean that stuff he said. Yeah, he did. I just want to be alone.
I also appreciate the shot of Wendy looking sad while Josh freaks out in the tent right next to her. That shit's fucking funny. It's funny as hell. Cut to Drake at the radio station, waiting for his turn to perform, but he's distracted by how much guilt he's feeling for yelling at Wendy. He finds a note she left in his pocket returning his guitar pick and apologizing for bugging him. When did she write that? And how did she manage to sneak it into his pocket without him noticing? Wouldn't have been possible. Come on now. What? A random trumpet player tells tells him to go to her and fix it and make it right. And the wiki also incorrectly claims that she's uncredited in the episode when she is clearly plain as day credited, but whatever. So Drake tells them something came up and he has to leave, even though he may never get another chance to play live on the radio again. Back at the house, the kids gather around the radio to hear Drake perform, but of course, they announce they're skipping him instead. And the voice of the announcer guy on the radio is none other than Dirty Dan himself.
Whoa, we got a flag on the play here. I've just been told Drake Parker canceled, so we're gonna move on to our next performer.
Of course, because he couldn't resist a self-insert whenever possible. The kids and Josh from the tent are confused why Drake didn't perform on the radio. But just then, Drake shows up, once again without a drop of rain on him, even though it's a major storm, and he tells Wendy that he wants to play a song just for her. Drake plays his song, Down We Fall, and she's extremely happy. When it's over, he gives her the guitar pick back again and tells her to keep it. Then he announces that he's taking them all to Chuck E. Cheddar's, and all the kids cheer. How the hell would Drake drive all those kids to Chuck E. Cheddar's? What car could possibly fit all those children? I don't think it's possible. Does he have a school bus? And as the credits roll, Josh sings the song instead in a funny voice while Drake plays guitar and tries not to laugh, which is a pretty cute moment. And, you know, overall, I don't hate this episode. Sure, it's awkward how Drake Bell had some inappropriate contact with a minor in real life, and the episode is about a little girl being in love with him. But if you can ignore the elephant in the room, then it's a pretty solid episode. And the song Drake plays at the end of the episode is a banger. But enough of me yapping. What do you guys think of Number One Fan? Do you remember this one fondly? Or do Drake's criminal charges kind of ruin it for you? Let me know how you're feeling in the comments, and let's kick it. And as always, I gotta give a massive underage shout out to the Agro Army, the channel and Patreon members. Your continued support is noted, trust me. If you're still here, check out some other videos and make sure you subscribe. All right, thanks for listening.